Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next 30 minutes. US President Donald Trump says he will permanently halt migration from what he calls third world countries to let the US system recover fully after National Guard shooting. Putin hints at Russia-Ukraine breakthrough via Trump's peace plan, but questions Zelenskyy's leadership, while Kiev and US delegations to discuss formula this week. The death toll in Hong Kong's deadliest blaze in decades rises to at least 94, scores still missing, firefighting operation underway, pro-border. And the 56th edition of IFFI wraps up in Goa today with a gala ceremony. 9-day extravaganza witnessed masterpieces of cinematic work, technology and business. Our top story, US President Donald Trump says his administration will work to permanently pause migration from what he termed third world countries to allow the US system to fully recover. Trump also said on social media platform Truth Social that he will end all federal benefits and subsidies to non-citizens, adding that he will denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility and deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk or non-compatible with Western civilization. Trump has ordered a widespread review of asylum cases approved under former President Joe Biden's administration and green cards issued to citizens of 19 countries following the death of a National Guard member on Thursday after being shot near the White House. And Trump had already called for the re-examination of all Afghan nationals who came to the US under his predecessor, saying that the US needed to take measures to ensure the removal of anyone who does not add benefit to our country. According to the memo signed by Edlow, that order would apply to about 233,000 refugees who entered between January 20th, 2021 and February 20th, 2025. And US President Donald Trump said on Thursday that a National Guard member had died after being shot in an ambush by an Afghan national near the White House. The second soldier, he said, remains in critical condition.
I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us. Incredible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. That's horrible. As you know, the other young man is fighting for his life. He's in very bad shape. He's fighting for his life, and hopefully we'll get better news with respect to him. And the monster that did this is also in serious condition.
U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Janine Pirro, identified the two wounded guards as Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf. She said they had been sworn in as National Guard members fewer than 24 hours before the shooting. Pirro said the suspect ambushed the two while they were patrolling near the White House. Armed with a powerful handgun, he shot one guardsman who fell and then shot again before firing multiple times at the second guardswoman. The FBI searched multiple properties in a widening probe, including a home in Washington state linked to the suspect identified as 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakanwa. Investigators seized numerous electronic devices from the suspect's house in Washington state, including cell phones, laptops and iPads. Officials said Lakanwa was part of a CIA-backed unit in Afghanistan before coming to the US in 2021 under a resettlement program. Moving on, Russian President Vladimir Putin has shown optimism to outline draft peace proposals discussed by the United States and Ukraine could become the basis of future agreements to end the conflict in Ukraine, but that, if not, Russia would fight on. US President Donald Trump has long said he wants to end the conflict in Ukraine, but his efforts so far, including a summit with President Vladimir Putin in Alaska in August, have not brought peace. Speaking in Bishkek after a summit with the leaders of a grouping of former Soviet republics, Putin said the discussions so far were not about a draft agreement of any kind, but about sets of issues. He said that in Geneva, the US and Ukraine had decided to divide up the 28 points into 4 separate components and that a copy had been transmitted to Moscow. Putin said that some things still needed to be discussed. If Europe wanted a pledge not to attack it, then Russia was willing to give such a formal pledge. Russian forces control more than 19% of Ukraine. He noted that it should cease the fighting but needed Kiev forces to pull back before it could do so. Putin said he considered the Ukrainian leadership to be illegitimate and so it was legally impossible to sign a deal with Kiev. He said the Kiev leadership lost legitimacy after refusing to hold elections when President Volodymyr Zelensky's elected term expired. Kiev says it cannot hold elections while under martial law and defending its territory against Russia. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff plans to visit Moscow early next week. Putin said US sanctions on Russian oil companies were unexpected. Commenting on the leak of a recording of a call between top advisors to Trump and Putin, the Kremlin chief rejected the suggestion that Witkoff had shown himself to be biased towards Moscow in peace talks over Ukraine, describing it as nonsense. While Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy also confirmed that delegations from Kiev and Washington are to meet this week to work out a formula discussed at talks in Geneva to bring peace and provide security guarantees for Kiev.
Our team, together with American representatives this week, yet at the end of it, will continue to push forward the points that we worked out as a result of talks in Geneva to shape them so that we can reach the path to peace and security guarantees. Our delegation will meet. The US delegation will be well prepared and ready to engage in hands-on work.
Zelenskyy met Latvian Foreign Minister Beba Braze in Kiev on Thursday, thanking Latvia for joining a US-backed program that allows Kiev to buy Patriot missiles and other air defense systems. Braze said Latvia stands by Ukraine and told Zelenskyy that he was not alone, adding that Ukraine was strong, democratic and had a very bright future.
Very thankful with the program Pearl, which gives us possibility to buy missiles for Patriots and other air defense systems through this program from the United States of America. Thank you that your country joined it. Best regards to President and all the best to your Prime Minister. We are very thankful that we have such big friends on this very not simple way. I think you understand the nature of this threat and these attacks and this war. So, welcome, Minister.
Now, Russia hands life sentences to 8 men over the Crimean bridge blast and further hardens its stance on Ukraine's NATO aspirations, even as Kyiv prepares for fresh peace talks with Washington. More in our next report.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the fighting would stop if Ukrainian troops withdrew from key areas, warning that Russia would otherwise seize its objectives by force. This comes after Russia reiterated that Ukraine's potential membership of NATO remains unacceptable to Moscow, calling the alliance's eastward expansion a direct security threat. The Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that NATO's continued attempts to pull Ukraine into its structure was one of the core reasons behind the current conflict.
NATO's attempt to drag Ukraine into its orbit still poses a threat to us. Ukraine's membership of this aggressive military alliance, which declared Russia its target, naming it a threat for security in all operational environment, is unacceptable for us. I repeat once again, because the essence of NATO's activity is the counteraction to our country.
Moscow's stance comes as Western and Ukrainian negotiators prepare for a fresh round of talks with focus on specific steps within a peace proposal currently under discussion. Ukraine's foreign minister Andriy Sybiha confirmed that US and Ukrainian teams will meet soon, where Ukraine expects concrete outcomes that could help advance efforts towards a ceasefire.
Найближчим часом слід очікувати.
In the nearest future, it should be expected that the negotiation teams will meet. What are we expecting? Our expectation are concrete results so that progress can be made. It is extremely important for us, and Ukraine has demonstrated this repeatedly to achieve a truce.
On Thursday, a Russian military court sentenced 8 men to life imprisonment over the 2022 explosions that severely damaged the Crimean bridge and killed 5 people. Kyiv later acknowledged responsibility, calling the attack a strategic strike aimed at disrupting Russian military logistics in occupied Crimea. As diplomatic maneuvering gathers pace, both sides remain locked in a tense standoff where the path to peace appears more intertwined with long-standing political red lines than ever.
Now, Hong Kong authorities on Friday stated that the death toll from the city's worst fire in decades killed at least 94. The authorities said rescuers are close to finishing their work, the fire nearly out and teams searching the burned high-rise buildings for the many people still missing. Early Friday, officials reported the fire was contained to 4 of nearly 2,000 units in the 8-building complex more than a day after it began. At least 76 people were injured, including 11 firefighters. Hong Kong's anti-corruption body said it had launched a probe into renovation work at the complex hours after police said they had arrested 3 men on suspicion of negligently leaving foam packaging at the fire site.
Our firefighting operation is almost complete. Despite that, we are still carrying out firefighting operation to 4 individual units, and damping down to various units of the 7 blocks are still in progress, so as to prevent the debris and embers from flaring up. What's next is the search and rescue operation. We will conduct search and operation to the remaining 25 assistant corps, and at the same time, we will endeavor to effect forcible entry to all the units of the 7 blocks concerned, so as to ensure that there are no other possible casualties.
In France, the French Overseas Department on Thursday stated that a landslide in the French Polynesia island of Tahiti left 7 people dead. In a social media post, French President Emmanuel Macron said France fully supports the families affected by the Tahiti tragedy and noted that people remain missing. Homes were swept away and a rescue operation was underway to search for the missing. A video showed several diggers arriving at the scene of the landslide to dig up the mass of soil. French daily reported that rescue efforts were halted for hours after a second landslide almost swept away rescuers, but operations have since resumed. And in Indonesia, flash floods and landslides on Sumatra Island have killed at least 84 people, while several remain missing, as emergency teams search rivers and destroyed villages for bodies and possible survivors. A week of monsoon rains caused rivers to overflow in North Sumatra province. The surging waters swept through mountainside villages, carried people away and submerged more than 2,000 homes and buildings, according to the National Disaster Management Agency. Nearly 5,000 residents were forced to take shelter in government camps. In the neighboring province, West Sumatra, at least 22 people have died, with 12 others missing, according to the local disaster agency. And Sri Lanka is grappling with worsening impact from Cyclone Ditwa, which has brought days of intense rainfall, deadly landslides and widespread disruption as it tracks north northwest along the island's eastern coastline. At least 56 people have been killed and 21 remain missing, according to disaster management officials. Nearly 44,000 people from over 12,000 families have been affected, with homes destroyed and transport networks severely damaged. Rainfall over the past 24 hours reached extreme levels. Authorities warn of continuing risk of flash floods and landslides, particularly in central and northern regions. Aviation operations have been disrupted, with at least 3 flights bound for Bandaranaike International Airport diverted due to poor visibility. And cyclonic storm Ditwa, which grew out of a deep depression near the Sri Lanka coast, is now tracking towards India's southern states of Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and South Andhra Pradesh. Officials said the system is being treated as a cyclonic storm with no forecast upgrade to a severe cyclone for now. Gale wind conditions are likely over parts of Arabian Sea close to Kerala, Lakshadweep and the Maldives. Fishermen have been advised to stay away from large stretches of the Bay of Bengal for the next 5 days. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. In Kenya, a court decision is being seen as a big win for farmers that will allow them to save and share their own traditional seeds without fear of fines or jail. Supporters say this will protect local seeds, reduce farmers' dependence on big seed companies and help keep Kenya's food tradition and farming system to grow stronger in the future. In London, this year's Gingerbread City exhibition is all about fun and creativity. The show features 50 architect-designed gingerbread buildings representing London, including sweet versions of Big Ben and the House of Commons. Organisers say the theme is a play putting imagination at the centre of city life in London. All right, still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Prime Minister Modi meets victorious Indian blind cricket team, lauds their courage. India's singles tennis player Sumit Nagal bows out of Australian Open Asia Pacific Wildcard Playoff Tournament. And the 14-day India International Trade Fair attracted more than 1.8 million visitors, surpassing previous records. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. The National Investigation Agency has stepped up its investigation into the deadly car blast near Delhi's Red Fort. NIA took one of the arrested accused, Dr. Shaheen Saeed of Uttar Pradesh's Lucknow, to Haryana's Faridabad for on-site questioning. Shaheen is among 7 arrested suspects in connection with the November 10 blast that claimed 15 lives and left several others injured. The agency believes that Shaheen, along with other arrested individuals, played a crucial role in planning and executing the terror strike, which has prompted one of the most extensive counter-terror operations in recent months. The agency continues to track multiple leads and conduct searches across different states in collaboration with local police forces to identify additional suspects connected to the conspiracy. And the 56th edition of International Film Festival of India, IFFI, is all set to conclude in Goa on Friday with a gala closing ceremony. The 9-day extravaganza witnessed masterpieces of cinematic work, world-class technology, business exchanges decked with unique initiatives. DD India's Deepika Mehto reports from Goa.
stage is all set for the gala closing ceremony at the 56th edition of International Film Festival of India. Well, to make this event a grand success, the organizers left no stone unturned. From red carpets to masterclasses to inflated cinema halls, the organizers ensured that everything is in place to entertain, educate and aware the cinema lovers. Let's take a look at this report to know more. The 56th edition of IFFI comes closer towards its conclusion. The 9-day extravaganza weaved a story of production, co-production, collaboration, creative delights, and a seamless cultural rendezvous. From having screenings of national, international, and regional cinema to hosting the big stars of the cinema industry beyond the boundaries, IFFI showcased it all frame by frame. This is one such banner where the stars walked with grace and thanked IFFI. Young minds jumped in happiness and scripted an unforgettable moment and cultural performances bound all in an experience bringing the picture of incredible India to the globe.
So it's great to be in Goa. I love coming to the IFFI festival. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, IFFI has done a splendid work and I'm very proud to be part of IFFI.
We have to say thank you so much for our government that they are thinking a lot about new filmmakers and young talents.
Genuinely very grateful for NFDC Film Bazaar.
Firstly, thank you for having me at IFFI. I mean, honestly, the challenges are many in terms of getting the legality of it right.
IFFI, thanks to IFFI, that reminding those people that don't do this, respect old people.
IFFI not only brought an array of films together that includes gender bender like Poppy and Lala, Thudurum that boasts entertainment and technology, world premieres like The President's Cake, and films with social message like Koya Paya, but also included specially restored items like Shole's Bike and films like 1989's Nagarjun's Shiva. The team at IFFI spent day and night to make it a huge success. Right from the rolling of the red carpets to the inflated cinema halls to ensure seamless entertainment, special postal exhibitions, IFFI turned Goa into the hub of entertainment and all things cinema. Each member of IFFI turned it into a delightful experience for the global audience. Now, as we move towards the day of awards, recognition and a memorable night, the stage is all set for the gala closing ceremony of the 56th edition that will also honor and remember the late legendary actor Dharmendra. So there you saw that how IFFI is beautifully decked up for the closing ceremony, and a lot of entertainment took place in so many days as of now. We'll get you all the latest on the closing ceremony with live visuals as well. Keep watching DD India.
And the International Trade Fair has also concluded in New Delhi. Around 1.8 million people visited this 14-day fair. On the final day, the best pavilions were awarded. Let's now find out who grabbed the top honours in the Grand Trade Fair organised by India Trade Promotion Organisation. Our correspondent Girish Nishana files this report. The 44th India International Trade Fair held at Delhi's Bharat Mandapam concluded on Thursday. On the final day, awards were presented to the best pavilions. In the foreign category, Thailand received the gold medal, Iran silver and Dubai the bronze. In the states and union territories category, Odisha received gold and Madhya Pradesh silver. Meghalaya was awarded the gold medal for best theme-based pavilion. Haryana received the gold medal for the cleanest pavilion. Among ministries, the Ministry of Defence won gold, Ministry of Mines won silver and Railways received bronze. In the PSU category, the Airport Authority of India got the gold medal. For public communication, the Directorate of Taxpayer Services received gold, while the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare got silver. For Empowered India, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare was awarded the gold medal.
IITF, as I said, ये भारत की आत्मा को दर्शाता है. Let it be. We will get back here next year again on the same platform with the assurance on behalf of ITPO that we will take this fair 2 notches higher in the next edition.
This year, the fair's theme was Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, One India, Great India. Around 1.8 million visitors came to see the fair over these 14 days. The fair concluded with a cultural program where artists captivated the audience with their performances. Girish Nishana's report for DD India. Now, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended the opening of the two-day Chanakya Defence Dialogue 2025 at Manekshaw Centre in New Delhi. The two-day Chanakya Defence Dialogue 2025 began at the Manekshaw Centre in Delhi. It was organised by the Indian Army along with the Centre for Land Warfare Studies. Addressing the conclave, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh emphasised on the vision of Sashakt, Surakshit and Viksit Bharat, mentioning India's defence preparedness, technological advancements and emerging security challenges.
The relevance of this platform and especially of this theme becomes even more important in the context of the present global scenario and the challenges India faces in its neighborhood. As we reflect on the reforms and the transformation, I feel it is important that we also look at the wider global context in which we all operate.
And Karnataka's Udupi district witnessed a festive atmosphere as Prime Minister Modi held a roadshow today with thousands of people lining the streets and cheering as his convoy passed. The procession route was draped in flags, buntings and barricades, creating a vibrant scenes across the coastal temple town. PM Modi's visit is followed by a visit to the 800-year-old Sri Krishna Mutt in Udupi. Prime Minister performed prayers at the Mutt. He is also taking part in the Lakshya Kant Gita Parayana, where 1 lakh devotees will chant the Bhagavad Gita together. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Swarna Tirth Mantapa located in front of Krishna Sanctum and dedicate the Kanaka Kavach, that is golden cover for the sacred Kankana Kindi, a sacred window through which the saint Kanakada Das is believed to have had the divine darshan of Bhagwan Krishna. Alright, sports updates now. Prime Minister Modi met the Indian women's blind cricket team in New Delhi after their historic win at the inaugural Blind Women's T20 World Cup. India remained unbeaten in the tournament and defeated Nepal by 7 wickets in the final. PM Modi praised the players for their hard work, courage and determination, saying they had made with the team, offered them sweets and signed a cricket ball, while the players gifted him an autograph bat. Skipper Deepika and Vice Captain Ganga Kadam shared emotional moments from the meeting and their World Cup journey.
मेहनत करके निकले हुए लोग अपने अपनी एक पहचान बनाए।
And India's top singles player Sumit Nagal bowed out of the Australian Open Asia Pacific Wildcard Playoff Tournament. Sumit Nagal lost to top seed Yuna Chao-Ketebu of China in the quarterfinals on Thursday. Nagal seeded 6th went down 2-6, 2-6 in straight sets. The event, held from November 24 to 29 at the Sichuan International Tennis Centre in Chengdu, offers winners a wildcard entry into the 2026 Australian Open main draw. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.